Missionary to Mars, Episode 10. This series is based on the book Missionary to Mars by Lucas Kitchen, published and produced by Free Grace International. Last time on Missionary to Mars, Eustis survived a savage beating from Rudwick and earned the brute's twisted form of respect. Despite his critical condition, he was led to a makeshift room and managed to express heartfelt thanks to Enzo, which left the young crew member puzzled and conflicted.
Chapter 10. Transmitting.
Captain!
Enzo said, and
Take a look at this.
Did you bring another stowaway aboard?
Marianna said. Enzo didn't respond to her sarcasm. She stepped over a crate and peered above the back of his chair. The bridge was packed with old gear, broken equipment, and rusted paraphernalia of an inglorious past. Enzo gestured in Marianna's direction, giving her access to his Cortex display's readout. He pointed at the hovering data.
It's some kind of intermittent signal. It's in close proximity, too.
How close?
Too close to get a parallax reading.
Enzo swiped to another screen.
Admiral Strafe.
Nope. No GovCorp tag. Plus, it's coming in irregular bursts. A few minutes at a time. It's not lightwave either. It's an old band spectrum. It's radio frequency.
Who uses radio anymore?
Enzo didn't respond.
Bring it up. Let's hear it.
Can't. It's not broadcasting currently. I can set it to record the next transmission so we can analyze.
Do it.
Aye, Cap.
He made the requisite hand gestures, nodded, and swiped away the screen.
By the way, we're approaching our insertion burn increase for lunar orbit. Do you still want to hit Aldrin City, or...?
Enzo didn't finish the thought as the subject of the stowaway was still raw. The captain stepped across the bridge, maneuvering around various piles of unsorted tech. She slapped the wall lock up, and a small hatch door swung open. She retrieved a liquid pouch. Enzo eyed her as she pierced the seal and took a long drink.
You're starting early.
You have a problem with this?
She glared. He put his hands up defensively. She spun and looked out the large bay window. She drained the liquid pouch in its entirety.
How long can we put a hold on the insertion burn?
We're stable. Long as you want, but with strafe on our tail.
Yeah, I know.
She tossed the crumpled liquid pouch at the discard receptacle and missed. She didn't move to pick up the garbage. What was the point?
I get it, you know. You've got a memory like an AI. You're a smart kid.
I'm sensing a but coming.
But
She paused to glare at him.
no matter how perfect, memory isn't a replacement for experience.
You made the wrong choice. He can fix the comm. You were 3 bottles in, and that always makes you cowardly.
Shut up, kid. Just for once in your life, listen to me.
She pushed her hair out of her face.
You're just a kid, and you don't understand.
Better to be a sober kid than a bitter blind boozer.
Get off my bridge.
Oh, there's that nerve I was reaching for.
Now.
Fine.
Enzo glared as he rose. He moved toward the command deck exit without taking his eyes off her. One hand on the ladder, he paused. He stared at the deck for a second, looking as if he would say something. After a moment's hesitation, he crawled down the ladder silently. Once he was down deck, Marianna cursed and kicked a stack of crates. They tumbled, but the aggression didn't satisfy.
Commap.
A beep indicated that the line was open.
Stowaway. Report to the command deck.
She waited for a long few seconds, but there was no response. She tried again.
Fair Dodger, come up to the command deck.
She waited again, but there was no response.
What's wrong with this thing?
She slammed her fist down on the control panel, but it didn't seem to fix anything. A piercing beep sounded from the terminal Enzo had vacated, but the kid wasn't there to receive it. Marianna moved to the kiosk and unlocked it with a swipe. The close proximity signal was transmitting again. She gestured to open the signal readout. It was an audio file. She played it. Her rage metastasized when she heard the sound bite. She screamed,
That rotten hornswoggler!
She was in a full run. She slid down the ladder and descended 3 decks in less than a minute. She heard his voice as she approached Eustis's compartment. She attacked the door with an aggression she usually reserved for emergencies, and this situation fit the need. She burst into his quarters and briefly marked that Eustis was sitting in front of a cobbled pile of tech. Wires snaked between varied pieces of active communication gear. A signal indicator blinked as an audio readout bounced. A long antenna was propped up against the bulkhead with a fat strand of braided wire running to his makeshift transmission rack. Eustis was holding a microphone to his mouth and had just stopped speaking when Captain Marianna entered the compartment. She crossed the room in 2 quick steps, ripped the microphone out of his hand, threw a well-practiced right hook, caught him across the jaw, and sent him sprawling to the deck. She then turned her rage to Eustis's ad hoc radio transmitter. She gripped the wire to the antenna and cracked it like a whip. The rack of gear went tumbling.
No!
He was on his feet in a second. She unholstered her pistol and released the safety. With it pointed at his face, she used her other hand to rip his equipment apart. The blinking lights went out, and the equipment died with a crash. When each piece of tech was air-gapped, she spun on him. His hands were in the air.
You intolerable Gobemausch. What were you transmitting?
He didn't answer. She stepped forward and leveled her barrel at his forehead.
Who are you talking to?
Anyone who will listen.
What? Are you insane? We've got Admiral Strafe on our tail, and you decide to step up to an open mic night.
That's exactly why it's so important I do this.
He gestured to the broken equipment.
I may not have much time left. Believe me, I wouldn't do this unless it was important.
What are you broadcasting?
He put his hands in the air.
Captain, I can see I've upset you. I'll tell you anything you want to know, but I'd like us just to take a moment to de-escalate.
He pointed to the gun in her hand.
De-escalate?
She looked at him with her head cocked sideways. Her voice was calm but deadly.
I'm going to ask you once more, and if you don't tell me, I'm going to paint the bulkhead with your brains. What were you transmitting?
I'm a believer.
Believer? What's that? Is that your dissident faction?
No. I'm part of an ancient belief group. I may be the only one left in the Sol system. I can't let the message die with me. I know I've put you in great danger, but this is so much more important than...
He would have continued, but she lowered her gun and stepped back. She leaned against the hatchway and stared at the floor. Her face went pale white.
You're a religionist. A religionist on my ship. This is...
Her voice grew quiet, but she continued to talk to herself in rapid terms. Eustis could not quite hear what she was saying as she paced back and forth.
PA? All hands muster. Stowaway's quarters.
It took only a minute for the entire crew, which included Rudwick, Enzo, and 4 cats, to be huddled around the entrance of Eustis's compartment.
This insane mud dweller was just transmitting his religionism on broadwave.
Religionism?
Rudwick said, with a face that looked as if he might retch.
From our ship.
I know it sounds odd, but I didn't...
Shut up, Stowaway.
She turned to the kid.
Enzo, prep for a long-range burn. Get us something in the belt.
I really need to get to Musk City. I have an important message I need to give to Mars.
As Eustis interjected, Rudwick stepped over, put his huge hand over Eustis's face, and shoved him backward. He tumbled over a pile of scattered gear.
We're not going to Aldrin City?
Every GovCorp ship in signal range knows where we are now. They know whatever this dissident criminal has been broadcasting. They know that his controverbs were being transmitted from this ship. Which means we're tagged. Whatever this rube was being hunted for, now we are too.
We bear the black mark.
Enzo, get to it!
Right. Long-range burn, I'm on it.
He rushed away.
Rudwick, secure the prisoner and make sure he has nothing he can transmit with. If he tries to leave this deck, kill him.
Aye, Cap?
Rudwick said with a smile.
Do you wish me just kill him now and we be done with it?
No. Without Aldrin City, we still have a broken transponder. Once we're on our way, we'll put him to use.
And when you say put him to the use, you mean that we will kill him?
Not until after he fixes the transponder.
Unless he leaves the deck, then we kill him?
Yes.
But won't he be having to leave the deck to fix the transponder?
Rudwick, get to work.
Aye, Cap.
Next time on Missionary to Mars, Captain Marianna's frustration with Eustis reaches a fever pitch, while the crew struggles to keep their focus on the looming threat of Admiral Strafe. Spiritual conflicts and imminent danger create a volatile cocktail, leaving everyone on edge. Missionary to Mars is based on the book by Lucas Kitchen, published and produced by Free Grace International. For more from FGI, visit the website at freegrace.in. You can reach us directly by email, info@freegrace.in.